we get a lot of individuals and companies and businesses, entrepreneurs that have mobile apps. And one of the things that they want to do when they have a mobile app is they want to protect the name of their mobile app. There's a lot of benefits to having a trademark mobile app name, right? One is that you can secure it. You can prevent others from ripping off your name. Also, as I understand, it also helps with the Apple Store. So having a registered mark might give you leverage in the Apple Store. And I haven't heard too much about Google Play, but possibly also in Google Play. But at the end of the day, it's a really, really good idea. It's only beneficial. And as I'm going to show you in this episode, there's a cost-effective way to do it if you haven't yet released your app, but you want to see if the name is available and if you can possibly get it protected. All right, so before we get started, I just want to clarify something that's really, really important. And we've created a ton of episodes on what classes are, but in order to file a trademark application, you have to file it under a specific class of goods or services, okay? So I'll just tell you now, mobile applications are filed under class 9, okay? And class 9 covers what's called downloadable software, okay? So if you download your mobile application, let's say on Google Play or on the App Store, then that would be that would qualify under class 9 as a downloadable application. So in this particular episode, the question was how you do a TEAS Plus. So we're going to go through step by step how you do a TEAS Plus application on a mobile app that you haven't yet released. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing that you need, of course, is you need the name. So Victoria is going to help me out today. She's going to provide me with a name. While she thinks about the name, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you guys first initially how you can go about doing just a quick search. So the place to start is by going to trademarks. I typically, if you want, I like to start just going to tsdr.uspto.gov and then search trademarks. So you're going to come back on, Victoria, and tell us your name.
Sure. I think we should stick with what we came up with for VRES.
Cool. Very cool. Okay, this is a play on Victoria's name. All right. So again, I don't think we've done a show on these structured searches, but really, really useful tool. So if you click on structured, and you can basically enter freeform in the box. So this is actually really useful, really powerful. So we're going to go ahead and type in VRES, and then this is the name. So we're going to do full name. I'll show you guys some other searches that you guys can do if you want to get tricky with this. And we're going to do international class 9. And I want to look at live marks. It's a good idea to look back to marks that haven't been abandoned in the last 3 years, but just for simplicity, I just want to do the basic search here. So okay, so we see the full word mark. VRES is available. I'm going to also search what's called the basic index, BI, basic index. That also, okay, so this is quite promising. There might be some plays on the word VRES that may result in there being an issue with this, but for the most part, just based on this initial search, I feel confident that we can probably go forward with filing under this, under that name for this application. Okay, so let's get the application process started. So to start filing a trademark application on your mobile app, what you want to do is you want to go to, again, tsdr.uspto.gov, and then you want to click on File Online. Once you get to File Online, you're going to want to go to Initial Application Forms, and we're going to do a TEAS. You're going to click on Start Your Application, TEAS, and today we're going to do a TEAS Plus application. Okay, now remember, there's 2 types of trademark applications generally. There's TEAS Plus and TEAS Standard. What's the difference? Well, the difference is price. The TEAS Plus is $50 cheaper. So the TEAS Plus is $225 per class. So in this case, if we file under class 9, we're only going to have to pay $225. Now, if we file under if we file a TEAS Standard application, which we're going to do in a later episode, then that would be $275. But for this purposes of this video, we're just going to do a TEAS Plus. It's going to be $225. Now, we're going to see when we compare the episodes, we're going to talk about the differences. But basically, the TEAS Plus means that you have less latitude to select the description of goods and services for your mark. So we're going to do a TS plus. An attorney is going to be, we're going to do it in your own name. So let's just say this is you as an individual, right? So you're going to release this app. So I'll do it as if it were under my name. All right. So like I said, I'm going to do it under my name today. And remember, it's last name followed by first name followed by your initial. Now I'm going to click individual. Now it's going to ask me for citizenship. So that's required. And sorry, United States, there we go. And my mailing address. So I'm going to type that in. There we go. And okay. Now, if I wanted to have a domicile address, you can enter it here. This is, if you put it in here, it's going to stay confidential. Phone number, again, not required. If you want to put it, the only issue that I take with that is that, remember, it's going to be public record. So just keep that in mind. However, it is nice to have a phone number on the record. I've said in past videos not to, but the reality is that for the most part, examiners like to correspond over email. That being said, sometimes they do call. So if you're going to be doing this on your own, it might be a good idea to put your phone number in. I've never had an examiner fax me, but again, it's an option if you have a fax number and you want to upload it. Now, email. Email is required. Okay, you're not going to be able to get around that. You do actually have to input your email. So my work email. Again, website address not required. If you want to upload it, go ahead and upload it. Okay, we're going to click continue. I just want to note, we're going to get an error. This is because we didn't put our phone number. Again, this is about contact. But remember, they have your email address, so they're going to be able to contact you that way. I'm going to click continue. Okay, now this is the part where we get to actually input the mark. So we're going to use Victoria's name that you came up with, the res, and you can, we're going to do special form later, but if you have a logo, you would actually click special form. Today, we're just going to do a standard character mark, and we're going to, if you click preview, you don't see it, but it's going to pop up a preview of an actual mark. All right, so we're going to click continue, and now this is the part where we actually input the goods and services. Okay, so this is the part where this TS Plus is very limiting in our opinion. So in the TS Plus, you're required. So when you click Add Goods and Services, you actually you only have the options that are provided to you by the TS system. So type in mobile application, and you're going to see some good options. So the one that I recommend personally. So again, we're looking for class 9. I like this one right here. So I'm going to read it to you guys. As you guys can see right here, this is my preferred one just because downloadable computer application software for mobile phones, namely software for, and then you get to input. So whenever you see braces, curly braces in bold in the TS Plus, you actually have latitude. That's the one place where you can actually input your own text. You can see there's other class 9s, like super specific though, for home automation, AI for home automation. One at the very top was for booking taxis. Keep going down. Feature instruction in, like, this is, I guess, mobile app related to education, possibly. This one's actually pretty good too, right here. Downloadable software in the nature of a mobile application for, and you can explain what it is, what the application does. I like this one a lot too. Frankly, like, you could select both if you want. This is, again, downloadable. Okay, so this, see, these are pretty nice because they give you a lot of latitude. Downloadable computer application software for. But yeah, if you guys are curious, go check it out. Again, you can actually get to this information without having to start the application process. You can just go to the TD ID manual. If you just Google it, trademark ID manual, it'll come up. Anyways, let's move on. I'm gonna pick the early one, downloadable computer application software for mobile phones, namely software for. Insert checked entries, and that's going to add it. Okay, so this is going to give me the option now. So now it's going to say, hey, you selected one that had braces in it, so now you have to input some text. Streaming. Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to click add. Cool. Oh, wait, when I clicked add, it actually added another. So you could actually enter multiple. So just as an example, like we could have done software for streaming. We could say streaming video, and then we could have done like streaming audio. This is all acceptable. And you can do streaming audio and video content, for example. So all acceptable. Then we click insert checked entries, and it should add them all. So now we can see them all here. Downloadable computer application software for mobile phones, only software for streaming video, and then we see streaming audio and video content. So pretty cool. Again, we're going to do a section 1B. So I believe I've explained in prior episodes, but basically a section 1B application allows you to apply for a trademark before you've started using it in commerce. So it's an opportunity to protect the name before you actually start selling or providing your goods, selling your services. It basically gives you an opportunity to protect the name before you put all the money into branding and developing your actual business and brand. So really, really good, useful tool. It's relatively inexpensive. As I'm showing you in this video, it's only going to cost you $225 to secure your mobile app name. So good idea. We're going to click section 1B. And again, this is basically saying that you understand, right, that this is a section 1B application. And in the section 1B application, you have a bona fide intent to use the mark in commerce. So we're going to check this box, and we're going to click assigned filing basis. And now we're pretty far along. So once we hit continue, as you can see, these are all under class 9 and mobile app. It's related to streaming. And you guys are going to see how these are going to show up in the final application, but they're probably going to be separated by semicolons. I'm going to click continue. Now here I'm going to put my reference number. So I'm just going to put my initials. We're going to do TL1 today. Tomorrow we'll just keep incrementing it, and then this will be a series of episodes. I think it's going to be really, really useful content for all of you. Now, this is really important. If you guys have teammates, like I'm so fortunate to have Victoria on my team, so I'm going to add her here. What this does is that all correspondence that I get, she's also going to get. So it's a really useful tool so that your team can stay apprised of what's actually going on with your application. So if some correspondence comes in, but I'm super busy, I may miss it. And if you don't respond to it within 6 months, it'll go abandoned. But fortunately, if Victoria gets it, then there's no way that it's going to slip through the cracks. Really good, useful tool. Again, put your coworkers, your assistants, anyone that's involved in the branding process, I recommend adding them here just so that they also get the notifications. So, and again, you can put up to 4. So just keep that in mind. We're going to click continue. And now we're almost done. So now we're at the fee stage. So again, $225 class for one class. Remember, this is the cheap application. I'm going to sign it directly. Now, there's 4 checkboxes that you have to sign. The first that you have to check. The first checkbox is just saying that you understand this is a Section 1B application. So you have an intent to use the mark in commerce. And this checkbox is saying that you have a right to use the mark, that someone else isn't using the mark with similar goods for similar goods and services that would create confusion in the marketplace. And this third one is saying that there's actual support for what you stated in the application. Now, this fourth checkbox is saying that you're signing on the penalty of perjury, right? So anything that any lies that you make could be held in fine or imprisonment for lying. Signature, again, pretty easy. They make it really simple. All you have to do is type your name in within slashes. your date signed. It automatically fills it for you. It's quite nice. And again, put your name in here. And my title, I'm just going to do owner. Some people like to do holder, like trademark holder. I just do owner, especially if it's an individual. And then again, then your phone number. And then you click validate. Now, we're now at the, oh, did I miss a checkbox? Oh, I missed the basis checkbox. Whoops. All right, so now I click validate, and then it takes me to the final page where I can actually submit the application. So this is the very final page. Once I check this box and hit submit, my application will be submitted. I'll be taken to a place where I can pay the fee. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to review the application, make sure that all the information that I entered is correct. So here I see my mark. Fortunately it's a pop-up, but I'll show you the mark in another page. Standard characters, yes. So it's a word mark, not a logo, not a design mark. And again, notice we're not making claim to any particular type of font, size, style, color, right? Again, this is our address information. All looks good. Individual. Now here's the bit. Okay, so you see how these are what we actually created. They get inserted and they get separated by semicolons. Okay. One thing I don't particularly like. I don't like the way this comes out. So I'm going to show you guys really quick how you can fix it. It's actually really simple. They create a session, so it's really easy to go backwards and forwards in the application. So again, here's a docket number, and not required, by the way, but it's if you have a lot of cases that you're tracking, it's a very useful tool to keep track of your cases. So we're going to click back. Like I said, let's go back and fix that. We're perfectionists here, so we can click go back to modify. They make it really, really easy to do this, guys. You just click go back. And by the way, when we go forward, what you're going to discover is everything is saved. So we're not going to lose any of your information. We're not going to have to re-input any of this information. So it's actually quite nice. Let's see. How do I edit? Oh, I guess I actually don't make it easy for you guys to actually edit these classes. So I guess what we have to do is we would have to like actually go in and add them again. So you could actually remove it and then add it. I'm going to go under just this one because it covers both audio and video. But just note that when you put them in order like that, you're going to want to make sure that there's a semicolon here, not a period. I think it looks kind of funny. Actually, no, sorry. The system is automatically going to add the separator for you. So you don't even need anything in there. But for the very last one, just so it reads more clearly, I like to have a period at the very end. Again, and if you did want to add or change anything, all you have to do is click Add Goods and Services, and then it would take you back to that same page where you can then select. You type in mobile application, pick the description you like, and then click Insert Check Entries and then add a text. So pretty straightforward. Anyways, I'm going to click Continue. I'm happy with this one description, and I'm going to move forward to the application. And as you can see, it actually stores all your information. So makes it really easy to go forwards and backwards. So you don't have to like go back and retype in stuff. So when I click on input, I can look at the application again. And as you guys can see, it's updated the class. So I think it just reads a little better. So good example of going back and changing the application and not having to re-input all your information all over again. So again, here's the mark, Victoria's clever name for her mobile app. And again, we're going to click, oh, by the way, if you want to save your application, you can save it. So if you click Save Form, it'll save what's called a .obj file. That .obj file then gets saved, and you can finish your application tomorrow. So pretty useful tool, guys. Think about that. If you're not 100% sure, but you don't want to lose all your work, you can save it as a .obj file and then start working on the application tomorrow. Now, this is the final checkbox. This checkbox is saying, hey, no right to privacy, right? So right to confidentiality, everything that you put in your application is going to be public, okay? So keep that in mind. The second thing that's really important is there's no refunds. So if later Victoria comes up to me and she's like, oh, you know what? look, I want VRES with 2 S's, not 1. Tough luck. You have to do a whole nother application. So keep that in mind. Another 225. So make sure that when you submit this, that this is in fact the word mark that you want. Otherwise, you're gonna have to pay a whole nother set of fees and go through the entire filing process. So very important. So once I click, let's see, we have a question. If I save the .obj file, work on it tomorrow, will I still benefit from today's filing date? Oh, that's a good question. So no, you will not get the benefit of today's filing date. You have to hit pay submit in order for it to be filed. Otherwise, once you click save, I'll be able to download it, but it's not going to have been submitted. I'm not going to get a filing receipt number. I'm not going to get a filing date. You have to go all the way to the end and click pay submit. That's the only way for you to get a filing date. That's a really good question. Thanks for asking that. Yeah, saving the form by itself is not going to get you a filing date or a filing receipt or a serial number. If you click save form, great, you'll have it on your system. But again, never going to get examined, never going to turn into trademark. You have to actually go through the entire process and click pay submit, like I'm going to do now, and actually pay the fee. Okay, you have to pay the fee in order to actually get the benefit of today's filing date and to actually have a filed pending trademark application. So this is going to pull up a payment form. I'm going to fill it out, input my credit card information, and once I do that, so after I fill in all my information, once I do this and click submit payment, I just want you guys to understand what's going to happen is I'm going to get an email, and that email is going to have a filing receipt. It's also going to prompt me to download my application. So once I download the application, I can store it, save it, share it with my team. But it's also going to provide me with a serial number. Okay, that serial number you're going to be able to take. I'll show you guys real quick, but you're going to be able to go to tsdr.uspto.gov and input your serial number right here. And when you click status, it'll tell you about the status of your application. So assigned to an examiner, pending, still waiting to be processed, whatever it may be. You'll be able to track the entire process by going to tsdr.uspto.gov. But you need that serial number, so keep that serial number handy. All right, so I think this is super useful content. We're going to do a whole series of episodes on how you can protect your mobile app name and logo for going on the app stores, various app stores out there. So really useful content. Hopefully brings you guys a lot of value. So